a gentleman who has been absolutely instrumental in overseeing critical aspects of Jamaica's energy transition, infrastructure upgrades, and strategic partnerships to modernize the public transport network. A long-serving member of parliament, and he continues to play a pivotal role in advancing our national development. In fact, somebody asked me earlier on if at Reggae Sumfest that I'm going to be hosting this weekend on Saturday night, if I'm going to introduce him, because he has a new song out now. Anybody know the song? Well, I don't need to say anything more. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Let's welcome to the stage our Honorable Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, the Honorable Daryl Vaz.
Yo, yo, yo. Hey, hey, hey. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. PM, the mic is working. Dr. the Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, my permanent secretary and the entire team, JUTC team, the suppliers of these buses, my beautiful wife, and of course, everybody here gathered today. Let me first of all formally apologize for the opposition spokesperson on transport. I got a message from a mutual friend that he can't even talk about bus, much less to come and see bus. So he's unavailable to come. So I asked the question, is anybody going to represent him? He says there's nobody that's willing to come to see these buses because they know they're going to get bus after bus after bus after bus after bus. A Jamaica Observer article posted yesterday that the JUTC recorded improvement in several areas over the 24 fiscal year. This included improvements in revenue for passenger trips, charter trips, and an improvement in overall ridership. These improvements are not by chance, Mr. Prime Minister. This government, through solid, sound policies across all ministries, continue to show the potential of Jamaica. Again, they have a saying, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and the transportation pudding has moved from leaving a sour taste in people's mouth to being finger-licking good. Today is not just a handover ceremony. It's a milestone, a step forward in our national journey to deliver public transportation that works for all Jamaicans. We are not just adding buses. We are restoring trust, rebuilding systems, and reaffirming our duty to serve. As Minister with responsibility for transport, I'm honored to stand here as the MSET hands over 93 new buses, 63 compressed natural gas, and 30 diesel coach. And the reason for 63 and not 70, 93 and not 70, 93 and not 100 is the fact that there are 7 buses that are specially being manufactured for the special needs community. Those will arrive here in August. And as you know, the policy position of the government is that for all buses that we import, 10% have to be specially manufactured for the special needs community. And I take note that you saw a video a while ago and you all clapped. What you saw there is no different to my school buses and the tests that they go through before they come to Jamaica. So let it be known that all of those buses go through a grueling test outlined by the Department of Transport, the U.S. government. So it is not symbolic, it's not a symbolic gesture, but a bold signal that the government is delivering safer, cleaner, and more efficient transport options for Jamaicans. It is a demonstration that whatever the minister says and the ministry they are going to do, it gets done. We do not make promises. We make commitments. Commitment made, commitment delivered. Last year, as you recall, many of you were here, we handed over 100 new buses under phase 1 of the 300 bus procurement. This is the single largest fleet expansion of the JUTC in over a decade. The rollout includes the first batch of 100 compressed natural gas buses, as I said, 10 of which were specially outfitted to serve members of the special needs community. As promised, they arrived in time for September 24 school term. In 2023, when I took responsibility for transport, a total of 70 new buses, including 45 diesel, 20 CNG, and 5 battery electric buses were purchased. Additionally, you can recall that of the fleet buses deployed by the JUTC, today, 71% of the total buses are new buses, which were obtained between 23 and 24. That simply means, Prime Minister, that we have more new buses in the JUTC fleet than used buses. Let me go on to say, because I'm giving a speech and a lecture, because I want to diffuse a lot of the propaganda. The average age in the public transportation system for public passenger vehicles is 14 years old. The average age of buses, Prime Minister, in the public transportation system, those will be the coaster buses and such, is an average of 18 years. The average age of the JUTC fleet before the introduction.
Our world is filled with rhythm. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you. And our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Vehicles in the transport sector in Jamaica, bar none. Not to mention the service that they have to go through and the checks and the testing that they have to go through every year by certified inspectors in the United States of America. As Minister, I remain committed to ensuring the sustainable expansion of the public transport system. The 100 buses were successfully procured and deployed across the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region last year in 24, leading to significant improvements in service delivery. As a result of the changes, the JUTC has recorded an increase in revenue from passenger trips and revenue from charter trips, as reported by Statin in the 24th edition of the Economic and Social Survey. Of the buses deployed daily, the JUTC operates 110 CNG buses, 6 battery electric buses, and 1 range extender electric vehicle. This means 53.6% of JUTC's operable fleet now run on cleaner, lower emission technologies. This shift, which began in earnest in September 24, has yielded significant cost savings and environmental benefits, lowering carbon emissions in alignment with Jamaica's broader sustainable goals. The average monthly fuel cost per diesel bus is $1 million, compared to $350,000 Jamaican dollars per CNG bus. That's a savings of $650,000 Jamaican dollars per bus. Multiply that by 100 and you get the figures, $65 million just on fuel savings. As more CNG buses were integrated, the average fuel cost per bus fell from $660,000 in October 24 to $520,000 by April 25. The total savings in fuel expenses over the 7-month period is over $174 million when you compare the $485 million we would have spent on diesel to the $301 million spent on CNG, clearly demonstrating the cost advantage of clean fuel technologies. Last year, as part of our commitment to easing the burden on commuters, the JUTC implemented reduced fares for smart card users. The regular adult fare was lowered from $70 to $50, while the children's fare was reduced from $25 to $20, and pensioners from $30 to $25. This fare adjustment was a deliberate move by the government to promote affordability, ensuring that more Jamaicans, especially our most vulnerable, can travel with dignity and ease. Today, under Phase 2, we will hand over 93 buses, with the remaining 7 to arrive in August, fulfilling the promise of the second 100 buses. These buses are modern, fuel efficient, and compliant with international environmental standards. They represent our commitment to sustainability, innovation, and service excellence. Since the rollout last July, we have seen clear results. More buses rolling out daily, cutting wait times, and an increased ridership, and overall improvement in the misery index to the commuter. Jamaicans are regaining confidence in their public transportation system. We have demonstrated that when the government makes the right investments, manage our economy efficiently, and deliver lives are better. The 93 buses are valued at a cost of $2.355 billion. Additionally, the current CNG fuel costs are at $413,000 per bus per month, compared to $670,000 per diesel bus per month. This is a savings of $256,000 Jamaican dollars per bus per month. Of the fleet of 30 diesel coach buses, comprising 27 standard units and 3 specially designed for special needs, were procured through a contract valued at $6.3 million. In August 24, Montego Bay Metro operated with a fleet of 6 buses. Since then, the company has had a significant expansion in its operation, and by July 25, the fleet had grown to 22 buses, representing a 266.67 increase in fleet size over an 11-month period. That is dealing with Western Jamaica, Prime Minister. So we're not just dealing with the KMTR, we're not just dealing with school bus, we're dealing also with the challenges that the Western parishes have. The growth trajectory is expected to continue, and they are expected to receive an additional 10 buses, which will be buses that are currently in the KMTR, that are going to be replaced with new buses, and they will get some of the buses that were bought last year or the year before. So nothing other than 2-year-old buses for Montego Bay Metro. What is good about that, Prime Minister, is that we are doing an additional 60,000 commuters per month with Montego Bay Metro. Not only that, we have played a vital role in student mobility by providing daily transportation to 10 key secondary schools: Irwin High, William Knibb High, Spot Valley, Mushet High, Racines High, Hopewell High, Cambridge High, Nocalva High, Anchovy High, and Green Island High. All of those in the parishes of Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. James. For September 25, we'll be doing Montego Bay to Savlamar, Lucy to Negril, Montego Bay to Cornwall Courts, Green Pond, Montego Bay to Lucy, and other upcoming routes in the pipeline: Savlamar to White House and Falmouth to Wakefield. Further route assessments continue, Prime Minister, because we are going to reach into every nook and cranny of Jamaica to provide reliable, economic, and safe transportation for our citizens. Prime Minister, as I said before, and I'm going to repeat it as many times as often, they're going tired for the bus. They're going tired for the bus in every nook and cranny. And our school buses will be doing an all-island tour between the 25th and the 31st of July to do a first test and a second test in August before September morning to make sure that all the routes are properly serviced with the right size buses and that we leave no one behind on those routes. So, Prime Minister, friends gathered here today, simply put, for the detractors and the bad mind people who don't want to see this government deliver buses for our students and our commuters, you are going to hear it day in, day out. Not only from me, but from all of the well-thinking, clean-hearted people in Jamaica that know we are doing the right thing. Nobody is asking anybody who they support when the child go on the bus. Nobody asking who they support when we extend routes for JUTC all around Jamaica. It is the right of citizens to have a proper transportation system that has eluded us for decades, and I make no apology. And once my Prime Minister stands behind me, I will take on all of them one time too. All of them one time. I have the arguments, I have the plan, I have every question they ask me. So if they want to come back with another set of questions Sunday, bring them come. All of them can be answered honestly and straightforwardly. And that's what the people of Jamaica want. So Prime Minister, come September morning, right after Jamaica celebrates 63 years of independence, September will be a month to remember. As we celebrate 63 years for the very first Prime Minister, all 63 constituencies will have a state-operated public transportation system benefiting either students or Jamaican commuters island-wide. And remember, because memories are short, the rural school bus system is something that I have been passionate and wrote and spoke about from 2014. My colleague deserves great recognition, the outgoing Member of Parliament for Central Clarendon, because he too tried to introduce a school bus system prior to us leaving office in 2011. And we had 240 buses over 4 years, with the first 60 to be ordered. And the first thing that the incoming government did was to cancel the order and scrap the school bus introduction. Furthermore, by 2013, JUTC was planning a pilot project of 20 buses for rural transportation in and around specifically the KMTR. That was shut down. The articles are there, don't take my word. Google. The then minister was Minister Omar Davies. Google and you will see it. So this is not something that this government has not had on the radar. We have had it on the radar, but the thing is that with this visionary Prime Minister, he connects the dots. So it's not about the vision. The vision is the easy part. It's about connecting the dots to make sure that you can afford it and implement it and sustain it. And I give you my commitment that that is what we are going to do. I'm going to close, because my Prime Minister has a lot to tell us. But just to give context, over 62 students have been killed in motor vehicle accidents since 2022, and more than 770 injured. And I don't want to imagine what the numbers since 2014 have been, but suffice it to say it must be frightening. As a rural Member of Parliament, it will be a disservice to my constituents for me not to ensure that this cycle is broken, and changing the status quo of rural transportation starts with me. So whether it is JUTC or the rural school bus system, we are making the transformational changes across Jamaica. JUTC is heavily subsidized from taxes paid by Jamaicans. These taxes are paid by all Jamaicans, including rural Jamaicans. Therefore, rural Jamaicans must be the recipients of the benefits of the public transport system. I want to assure the public that the transportation at JUTC is not cosmetic, it's structural. The government is modernizing operations, improving fleet maintenance, and introducing new training programs for our drivers and maintenance teams through the partnerships with HART NSTA. I am pleased to share that through partnerships with the Universal Service Fund and other partners, buses will be equipped, as I had committed last year, with free onboard Wi-Fi, keeping our commuters connected while they are on the move. The mission is clear: access, equity, dignity in transport. Every Jamaican deserves to travel safely and comfortably and cost-effectively, regardless of age, income, or ability. And every community, urban or rural, deserves reliable, affordable public transportation options. Today's handover brings JUTC one step closer to realizing this vision for a modern, reliable, and inclusive public transportation system. And let me make it clear, this level of investment demands accountability. These buses belong to the people of Jamaica, and we will protect them from mismanagement in the government's drive to reduce the misery index of the commuting public. We have reduced waiting times significantly from as much as 2 hours, 2.5 hours, down to an average of 30 minutes, Prime Minister. And we expect with these buses to see an additional reduction in waiting times given the injection of these buses. I want to say, in closing, that in addition to these service improvements, the JUTC will be introducing several new inter-parish routes. Of the 30 new diesel buses, 15 will be dedicated to launching the new JUTC Rural Express service, offering premium travel on long-haul direct routes from Halfway Tree Center to Negril, Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Port Antonio, Mandeville, with minimal stops. Just 1 or 2 per trip at an introductory fare of $2,000. So you can go from Kingston to Negril, Prime Minister, and you and I are going to go on the bus when that time comes. $2,000, affordability. Affordability. We are providing competition in the government to make sure that those who can't afford the private transportation that is being offered, that they have options. The remaining 15 buses will support the demand for charter services, offering flexible, reliable options for institutions, organizations, for events. The JUTC is also expanding routes out of Spanish Town with new services to Linstead via the highway, Spanish Town to Kingston Town, and extending JUTC's reach, while the 70 CNG buses will be deployed along new routes across Spanish Town Depot Corridor. Prime Minister, I could go on and on and on. I'm going to give you routes from Longville to Kingston, that's in Clarendon, Linstead to Kingston, Kingston Town to Spanish Town to Mandeville. Prime Minister, I don't know what them going to do with me, because everywhere them go, them going to see bus after bus after bus after bus after bus. So I close in saying the government is moving forward, deliberately, strategically, and with purpose. So let these buses serve as more than vehicles. Let them be a symbol of what is possible when the government listens, plans, and delivers. I close by saying, you have a choice, and that choice is to choose Jamaica. God bless you. Thank you very much. We will, just a little bit of logistics. When the Prime Minister has finished cutting the ribbon and touring the buses, we will have 2 buses, one U-Turn, one Golden Dragon, that will be going to Spanish Town. The representatives, the invited dignitaries, JUTC, etc., are welcome, and the buses will return here after. So if there's anybody that wants to make that trip, space available. We will be taking the Prime Minister. He has other engagements, so I'm taking him on one of the JUTC buses rather than his high-level official cars. So the Prime Minister will be the first commuter and the first citizen in Jamaica to travel on one of these new 93 buses. God bless you, and it's safe, and it's economical, and we're not going to charge you today. God bless you. Thank you.